Snack Break Episode 3 will start shortly. And remember, keep it cinema.
Yo, I really hope this comes out well because I cannot seem to find a vocal preset that doesn't sound like I'm trying to be in a punk band or like I got auto. You know how crazy
It would be to do an entire video with auto-tune.
I would get roasted for 14 days. I can't do that. So we're just gonna see how this goes. Hopefully this doesn't sound terrible over the airwaves. But today I want to talk about 1997's Cube. In my opinion, one of the most underrated movies of all time. I feel like it doesn't get its respect. I feel like not enough people have even seen it. And yeah, I want to talk about why I rank this out of all the movies I've seen in my life, out of all the plots, twists, turns, scary movies, comedy movies, the ones that we all harken back to that were genre defining. This is why I want to give a reasons why I feel like this deserves the #1 spot in my list. So it is I, one of your movie guy panelists, one of the movie guys founder, one of the movie guys creators. It is I, Alexander, the home-based Baba Yaga. Okay, the Cinemark County clerk, the icy interpreter, the personal pan pizza predator, the recliner refiner. Talk. It is I. That's fire. I'm ad-libbing myself. Fire, yeah. But yeah, I want to talk about why I feel like this movie is a shining example of what contained thrillers can be. Some examples, if you've seen Hateful Eight, Saw, The Circle, The Platform. These are what I would consider contained thrillers. You know, you got one location for the characters to interact in. It allows for 1 or 2 outs to give context when it comes to stories. So you might have a exposition. You might have like for Saw, you got the detectives going around like, what's going on? With Hateful Eight, they had we're meeting in the woods in the snow just to kind of get that handshake relations of how did we get here. With The Platform, we've seen, in the kitchen they cooking, we're interviewing people before they go into the prison. I'll allow you that, but the bulk of the movie, the character development, the plot moves within this contained space. That's what I deem as contained thrillers. So now that we got that kind of understanding, let me back up. The reason why I want to give genre context is because I feel like that is a big portion of why I appreciate this movie so much. To give a more recent example, Sinners. Sinners was a really good movie when it came to the actors, the cinematography, the music. Everything about that movie was good. On paper, it's good. You can't deny that it's a good movie. Whether you think the story was original, whether you feel like it could have went this way or that way, just alone off the 3 big pillars of the movie, cinematography, music, acting, it was fire. The story was, in my opinion, it skyrocketed because it had the horror tag on it. Yes, you have the racial influences. Yes, you have the storyline and our take on the history of blues and how it came to be. But what made it fire was it wove in the culture, the history, the music, all into the subplot of it being vampiric when it comes to the industry and other races stealing that, essentially sucking that from our people. That's why it was a fire movie, because if you take the vampires away, it's still a bona fide story that you could put as just a regular, this is a historical piece about how music was taken. Cool. But what we're going to do is have it be double entendre. Not only did they steal, rape, pillage, whatever the fuck when it comes to music, culture, whatever, we're going to have an added element that it was sinister. It was evil in which they did it. It had to be vampiric. I don't know that's how you pronounce that word, but they were vampires. They're literally sucking this from us. Fire, pause. You see how when we have and this was on Movie Guys, we already did a deep dive about it, but remember when I was telling you how we're looking at black trauma, we're looking at how, I'm gonna give a good scene, when Delroy Lindo was in the car and he saw the chain gang and he gave a story of how I know them brothers, yada yada yada, you got Preacher Boy in the background, and he sees him transfer that pain, that trauma into blues. You see it. You're seeing how this man swallows that, doesn't drop a tear. Speaking of horrific things, and he transfers it to music. That little 15 minutes, which apparently was unscripted, and was kind of just thrown in there when they kind of had the music and he was catching the beat on the side of the door. As a character, Preacher Boy is watching an older gentleman handle trauma, and how does he transfer that to different mediums? Like, it's shit like that where on a regular film, yes, we would see that. But the fact that we're seeing it in a horror film, that's what makes it fire. You see what I'm saying? Just take every element in that movie. The scene where they were in the barn, under a burning house. Remember Remick and all them was outside watching like, yo, they dancing in a burning home. What is there to celebrate? Don't you see that you're in danger? Don't you see that all around you will be incinerated? You'll be ashes after we're done with you. But we're still gonna dance, have a good time, and appreciate one another. When it had that scene where they go around and you see the genres of music, the genres that he influenced for generations to come, and the ancestral drums and the percussion that got him to where he is now to strum his guitar, all of that is beautiful. On a regular movie, cool, but we're seeing it in a horror movie. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why I'm trying to give y'all that. Genre context matters. If you can get some shit off in a certain genre, it hits a little bit different. You see what I'm saying? The same way Kanye West said, nigga, hallelujah. Okay, cool. It's I guess a gospel song now, but you're saying nigga hallelujah. All right, that's another. Anyway, yeah, to quote my favorite Nazi. Anyway, so I just want to give that genre context because I feel like on paper, someone could watch this movie and be like, okay, it's a cheap budget sci-fi-ish film with like, okay, cool if you want to look at it that, but really give it props for what it was able to do in this, like I said, contained thriller. Okay, so 1997 Cube, just a little backstory, directed by Vincenzo Natali. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. If not, it ain't like the nigga go watch this video anyway. With a budget of 365,000 CAD, that's CAD. I'm not doing a conversion to USD, but I can imagine that it costs more than about $200 or $300 to make this fucking movie. Opening weekend, they only made $57,000. Premiered at a film festival in Toronto. Opened in the US to only 16 locations. So this wasn't some blockbuster. This wasn't some like six man of the year movie. It was like, yo, this came out of nowhere in the fourth quarter, and we love it. It was not that whatsoever. This did not make any ripples, any splash. There was no water damage from this nigga jumping in the pool. But somehow they were able to get 2 more films. Like this is a trilogy. There are 2 more movies that came from this movie, and I feel like, as we're gonna get into, I feel like it's because it came in and it did it well. You see what I'm saying? But essentially, when it comes to the plot, you got 6 strangers. They wake up in separate cubes or whatever. All they got on are like sexy overalls, some steel-toe Forever 21 boots. They don't remember how they got there, of course. And pretty much each room opens up into another cube, seemingly an infinite cube puzzle, where it's like all 6 sides of you. You go up, you gotta climb up, do some monkey bars. You get up there, new room, different color. And what made this dynamic is because it could be a safe cube. It could be safe, or it could be filled with a life-threatening trap. Lasers, gas, pyro, spikes, gravity changes. It could be another nigga in there. You see what I'm saying? You could open a door, you could go down and then put your head in, you up. You could go to the left and it's an invisible grid, a metal grid, Resident Evil 1 slicing you in half. You could go in there and it's just, oh, it looks fine, ain't nothing weird. I'm gonna throw my little boot in there. Am I okay? I go in there, suck up that gas. You see what I'm saying? So it allowed, and I'm in the context that you're watching this movie for the first time. You come in, you're like, damn, okay, like you're interested, you're excited. You're like, yo, what could these? What is the meaning of this? Why are these cubes killing them? What is the point? Is this just a rat puzzle? Are they just supposed to find the cheese? Are we ever gonna get to the bottom of why? Who? Is there an out? You know what I mean? So the characters they have, and oh, that's the thing. I don't want to spoil it. I really want y'all to go watch this film. I'm in the Telegram. You know what I'm saying? So I got it for free. But go watch Cube. Google, Bing, Yahoo News, whatever the fuck. Go Duck, go. Whatever your search engine is. Go to Opera if you got to. Go to whatever browser you need. Go watch Cube 1997. And funny enough, this is random. I'm spiraling now, but there is another Korean remix. Do not go watch that. I accidentally found out that existed and it pissed me off. Do not go watch it. It is a Canadian movie. Look for the right one. Okay. So the characters they have is you have like a math student. She essentially is like the reason and the rhythm to understand the puzzle. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm just trying to give y'all context as to how they basically have this Thunderbolt Suicide Squad ass group of people trying to escape this maze. So you got the math student. She's, the reason, deducing numbers and trying to do this, putting this and this together. Well, I had this idea. Well, that obviously didn't work, but this one's working, so we're going to follow through with that. You got a cop. He's the muscle. He also serves as like the nigga that has the crazy descent into madness, which you need that. If you're in a random cube, you don't know how you got there. One of y'all niggas need to get crazy. Somebody got to foam at the mouth. One of y'all got to have gas, like y'all farting and shit because you nervous. One of y'all got to be crazy, and one of y'all got to be muscly. He happened to be all 3. my homegirl and I used to watch this movie. We call him Crazy Eyes. This nigga is literally, I think after like, I think after like 4 rooms, the nigga said, "I'm about to kill a bitch." Like, all right, no spoiler, but he literally goes crazy, and it's so funny how he does it. Cause it's like he is the one dude in this movie that I do think he believed the role. I don't think I think he was method acting, or he truly believes like I'm gonna have to kill y'all motherfuckers. Like, I believe it. You have an escape artist. He was essentially leading us to believe that this nigga's gonna be our way out. Like, you break out of prisons and shit. Like, this nigga about to get us the fuck up out of here. You got a doctor, self-explanatory. You need somebody to kiss it, boo boo, make it better. You got a corporate drone. You know, he's nihilistic. I ain't gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil it. But basically, he's a character. He's gonna have a plot point reason. You have an autistic person serving as like the innocent, unexpected. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't want to. Even the way I describe these characters is gonna reveal too much. But essentially, you have a consortium of people who have very specific, oddly careers with different, you know, skills that kind of help them navigate it. And like any other contained thriller, the dynamic between these characters is the movie. Yes, you can have your story. Yes, you can have your son. But the actual entertainment is watching how these people work well together in this dire situation. Prime example, Hateful Eight. Hateful Eight is a Western movie. That is one of the funniest movies I've seen in years. Not because the plot is that we're looking for Linda Donahue and I got a bounty, $50,000 bounty on her head. No, that's not the funny part. The funny part is how these characters are coming alive on screen and interacting with one another. There's one scene where the girl got, you gonna let that nigger get in the car with us? He hit her in the head with a gun and said, "How you like the sound of them bells, bitch?" Nigga. When I tell you, I literally screamed in the theater. How you like the sound of them bells, bitch? Bro, that shit was fucking fire, and that's what I mean. That's what I mean by it takes a different type of nigga to form a group of people that it'll make sense. It's not gonna be fun if everybody's smart as shit and we just figure it out. No, you need an autistic person to go crazy in the corner. Not crazy, but you know, no disrespect. But you need somebody in the corner that's gonna get it bumping. I'm nonverbal, but I'm gonna get this shit cropping. You know what I'm saying? You need a cop. You need a cop to say, "Hey, I'm bigger than all y'all. I will literally body slam you right now if you don't do what I told you to do." And I'm wearing underwear. Like, this nigga, keep in mind, this nigga stripped down to his underwear before everybody else. Do you know how crazy this nigga was? Anyway, let me calm down. I want y'all to watch it. I'm not gonna spoil it. Obviously, I'm getting a little bit excited even talking about the film. But to get down to the meat and potatoes of this video, because it's not really supposed to be a long video. The reason I feel like this movie is so underrated is on account of a few things. Set design. It's simple. It's a cube. Seemingly infinite. Different colors, different traps, claustrophobia, illusion of genuine infinity. The black government project. Like, to me, it's such a simple, much like Saw, it's just a bathroom. Yes, he has traps, and that's the ingenuity. That's the, as the Saw movies went on, it got bigger than the bathroom, but it's like, you're finding yourself, like, how did the director even finagle a trap that would rip off all my fingernails if I don't spell the alphabet correctly, or I gotta dig in my liver? Like, it's that maniacal, twisted mind of the writers. This movie doesn't have that type of degree when it comes to gore and psychotic, because like I said, it's not a serial killer. It's a program that's constructed this thing. But like I said, when you're watching the movie, you're just excited to see what could the next room hold. The campiness of the movie, the acting is not stellar, but I feel like that's what makes the movie fire. I feel like we've all had movies where, yes, the acting is not 10 out of 10. These actresses in this film, we may never see them in another movie again, or they might be an extra on a CW TV show, but as long as they are in front of this screen, nigga, I'm going for Oscar nominee. Like, that's what they're acting for. These people believe this role, and it wasn't, none of it felt forced. I genuinely liked it. So, like, sometimes I'll go out of my way to watch a bad movie because I just think, these niggas are fighting for their life. This is their career. Like, yes, the movie might be campy, slapstick, or it could be cheap, but as this dude on this screen, nigga, this is going on his IMDb, and it's gonna hold some weight for him. Like, I loved it. I love the acting. Like I said, there's a fine line between bad acting and the actors truly believing their role. The cop's spiral into insanity was not only humorous, it was terrible, believable. It's like the right amount of, like, his crazy was the right amount of, like, lip foam and 1,000-yard stare. Like, that, anyway, not too much on him, but all the characters held their weight. Um, the simplicity of it, like I said, the plot, the materials. I've always been the person on the movie guys to say I enjoy practical effects. I'm not saying that it has to look like some 1990s. Okay, god damn it, I'm drunk. So this will be two parts. I didn't realize BandLab only allows 15 minutes of full recording, so I just went on a whole spiel about practical effects that did not get recorded. Essentially, and I'll probably have to chop this up to make sure I'm not repeating myself, but I do believe that there is an art form that comes with the time and care it takes to not only consider how this is going to look on screen, but if we can do this 2, 3, 4, 5 takes if we need to. And a few movies that, like Saw, Possessor, Bring Her Back, Talk to Me. These are shining examples of I view it as an art form. I think it takes a lot of skill to get some plastic, some mold, some clay, some tubes to run blood, make sure the blood. I mean, Evil Dead. Some creative directors, they go out of their way to make the blood look almost watery, soupy even. Then you got some where it's just chunky, and you know what I mean? Like I love that. I love, like, show me what in your universe, show me in your scene, show me what does horror look like to you. You know what I mean? Prime example. Bring Her Back just came out. There was a scene where a character was biting on a wooden countertop. That's all they were doing. Just biting on a wooden countertop. Now, as a human, we can say, damn, that is very uncomfortable, huh? When you say, biting on a fucking wooden cool. But when you start seeing that his teeth are breaking, the wood counter is splintering, getting into the gums. There's a scene where he takes a knife and chews on it, blade up in between his teeth, and it gets stuck in the gums. He has to yank it out. You see the roots of his teeth. Like, shit like that, that's not CGI. I mean, there might be one or two elements to say, hey, do whatever. But as a viewer, they've put a mouth prosthetic, to me as it seems, they've put a prosthetic or something that's making me believe this shit. There's a scene where he's just casually ripping his skin off, just peeling it back like a goddamn fruit roll-up. Like, stuff like that and I said this on Movie Guys. This is the first time I've ever seen a movie. Like, my dad is the type where if he sees, like, he loves Saw. Saw is one of his favorite movies of all time, his favorite series of all time. When my dad watches a horror movie or somebody gets hurt, he grabs that body part. Like, say if somebody got their leg chopped off and Saw, he go, ah! And he, like, grabs his leg. Or if a nigga get his head chopped off, he'll grab his neck. Ah! Like, it's always tripping me out. But he's always been like on some, God damn, I know that shit hurt. Like, that kills me. This is the first time I think I've seen my dad and the rest of the theater do that. On there, the scene where I was talking about where he pulling this shit back like an orange, he peeling that shit back, the entire row in front of me was like, oh God. And one dude said, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Like, nigga, that's how uncomfortable it was watching this. That's how, somebody said, you gotta be kidding me, and looked away from the screen, bro. Bro, that shit was hilarious. And that's what I'm saying. You get that from good prosthetic work. You get that from practical effects. Terrifier. How could I be forgetting Terrifier? A perfect shining example of how uncomfortable you really can get when you don't get into the CGI. You don't get into the we rubber band man CGI his leg to blow off, or we got like a stiff ass foot that no, bro. Get into the nitty gritty. Get with some and. Let me take a step back. The reason why I'm bringing that up in Cube is because Cube has a few corny moments where they dice him up and his body turns into Italian sausage, like I said, or his head melts off and you see their head on the ground and it looks like they just time-lapsed a wax figurine they melt like a Reese's cup or some shit. Like, I get it. It's a sign of the times. It's a 1997 movie. But what I appreciate is that they go out of their way to say, hey, we got to make this shit look believable as possible. With the technology, with the budget, with the materials that we have, with the crew that we have to make this shit possible. And I guess I give a little bit of credence to it because I've worked in theatrical spaces. I've helped a traveling play before when it comes to set design. I've seen makeup in the background with prosthetics. I've seen people have things mishap on stage live and they have to kind of work. So I have a different sort of appreciation and understanding of what it takes for things to look a certain way on stage. Now, that's stage live performance. When you got a camera, press record, stop record, I get it. But time is money, and we don't have all day to get this shit right. Get it right the first time or the second time, and let's go to the next scene. So, and I think my last thing I had was just the fact that this movie had enough cult following to get 2 more movies. Like I said, this is a trilogy. You know what I mean? So to bring it all back, Cube, in my opinion, does everything right for me. As somebody who loves sci-fi, as somebody who loves contained thrillers, as somebody who loves unique stories, I am a sucker for a movie trapping the characters into a set area and allowing the story and the dynamic between the characters to carry me through to the credit scene. To me, I feel like that is impressive. I feel like that's hard to do. And so much so, I've played Cube in a way in VR. Like there's a VR game called Rec Room where you can kind of create your own levels. I've literally in VR have climbed up a cube, opened a door, went to the next room, had to work my way around traps, find the key. Like I just think it's so dope. It's such a cool concept. It's so simple, but it's creepy. You know what I mean? And yeah, I just feel like, you know, set design, the campiness, the characters, the simplicity, the practical effects, the two trilogies to then go on and continue buffing out the story and the future and the history of the company that made this. Like, I just think it's so dope and it's so niche and it's like I don't no one knows about this film series. Like when I tell people my favorite movie is Cube, they're like, huh? Who's a what? Like, no, nigga, yeah, Cube, 1997, the year a real nigga was born. You feel me? So, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this shit up. I'm gonna probably do like a creepy overture as I'm talking right now, just to kind of make it creepy. But yeah, man, go watch Cube. Go watch 1997's Cube. Tell him Alexander sent you. And I would really love if you've seen it, comment below. Tell me why you think it was ass or beautiful. I really want to. I really want to do more think pieces like this on niche movies that I would love for the entire panel to do this. Have moments where it's like, oh, wait, ISO on me so I can talk about a movie that I think was either fucking trash or a movie that I hold near and dear to my heart. I could do another episode on Pootie Tang alone. I watched Pootie Tang every day for an entire semester my senior year of high school. It was recorded on my DVR, and the only reason that it got deleted is because I think you only have some on there for so long until they get that shit up out of there. So, all in all, man, this is Alexander, bro. Mr. Bitches, home base Baba Yaga, the Cinemark County clerk, the fucking personal pan pizza predator, the recliner refiner. Any other name you want to give me, man. Appreciate y'all for watching. I'm going to try to find some cool videos to kind of go with this narrative, because as of right now, you're just a fucking MP3. Movie guys, assemble!